We interrupt this service to bring you breaking news. Scores of onlookers have flocked down to the city gates in downtown Jerusalem in eager anticipation of the arrival of what has been dubbed this millennia's next big thing, Jesus Christ. We now go live to our reporter at the scene in downtown Jerusalem. Are you there? Thank you and welcome to this glorious Sunday morning. Jerusalem stars have come out in true Jerusalem style. I've just had past me some of the apostles, James and John, Andrew and Simon, who stopped at the stage name Peter, followed by Thomas, although there's some doubt as to whether that's his real name as well. They've really been playing to the crowd. They've been posing for pictures, signing autographs and warming up the audience, ready for the headline act, Jesus Christ. Woo! Just following behind them is Judas, usually the heart and soul of the party, but today looking a bit glum, a bit distracted on this lovely Lent morning. Whilst we wait for the big man himself, I'm here with Malcolm and Tracy, who I'm told have been camped out here for 2 days in the chance to get a glimpse and maybe even the hope of talking to the Messiah. Malcolm, if I may come to you first, I notice that there's members of the crowd who are throwing their cloaks down and throwing down palm leaves for the Messiah to walk upon. And yet, you appear to be holding...
Privet! I said, Malcolm, get down to the palm tree shop and get some palm leaves. But no, he was too busy. One thing I asked, my mother was right. One thing. You know, other people, they're throwing down palm leaves. But what have we got to throw down for the Son of Man? The God incarnate, the Saviour of the world. A shrub, and a dwarf shrub at that.
As you can see, the mood here is intense. Can you tell me what you'll be expecting of the Messiah?
Well, I don't really know. Something amazing, I expect. Let me think. Miracles, healing, raising the dead. Actually, what he did with turning that water into wine thing was just great. It was brilliant. I'm thinking maybe you could practice it on our water. You know, the water in Jerusalem, very hard, very hard. It's all the fluoride levels.
I've just been told that Jesus is on the perimeter. This is it, folks. This has been dubbed the triumphal entry, where Jesus will be hailed as King, the Son of Man, the King of the Jews. Bookmakers have given 3-1 odds that he's going to be carried in on the backs of angels, and 2-1 odds that he's going to arrive in a chariot of blazing fire. I can just see him now. Here he is, folks. He's on. Donkey. Well, it looks like the crowds will be partying here all night to this historic event. I feel very honoured to have him privet to the whole scene. Back to the studio. Well, it certainly looks like a major event there. Well, as things are starting to calm down a little, I understand that we can now go live to the kitchen where things are heating up. Isn't that right? Thank you. I am privileged to be here with the chef for tonight, the Apostle John, as he prepares supper for the 12 disciples and Jesus. John, tell me, what's on the menu for tonight?
Well, I've prepared something very special for tonight, a selection of handcrafted rustic petit pois, rolled in seeds and grains, slow baked in a clay oven. This will be accompanied by a delicate liquid grape compote, aged in an oak casket and chilled in a pitcher until optimum temperature.
So, bread and wine then?
Yes, but I've done all the baking myself. Look, don't listen to that Judas. If he tries to tell you that I've bought it all from Sainsbury's, he's a right troublemaker, that one. When we've eaten, at least I can make the other disciples do all the washing up. And as for the wine, well, we've provided the water and Jesus has done the rest. You'd be amazed at the amount of time and money we've saved not having to keep popping out to the off licence.
It's a big group. Where will everyone sit?
Well, I wanted to do alphabetical place names, you see. Jesus, then John, but the others wouldn't let me. Usually, Jesus sits in the middle of the table and we sit around him, and we sort of recline as is current fashion. Not sure if it's much good for the back though, but oh well, Jesus can always heal it. Gotta go, we're having a group photo taken. You never know if it will be the last time we're all together. Right, anybody wants their photo taken, move to the far side of the room.
Well, thank you for that. Enjoy your supper. Whilst they enjoy their feast, I won't make a meal of it any longer. I'll hand back to the studio. Thank you. We now go over to the weather forecast for Jerusalem. Can you tell us what the weather's going to be like this bank holiday weekend? Hot! Thank you. Shocking news just in. Tragedy has struck. Jesus Christ, the King of the Jews, has been condemned to death by the people of Jerusalem. It is hard to believe that barely 5 days ago this very same crowd was hailing him as king, and now they are baying for his blood. We go live to our reporter at the scene. Thank you. Yes, the mood here has been reversed. Jesus Christ has been found guilty, but of what? Nobody seems to be sure. Spectators tell me that it may have been one of the famous 12 who betrayed the Lord for an undisclosed fee. The local ruling elite have raised charges against Jesus of blasphemy and then arrested him. When the governor, Pontius Pilate, refused to condemn the Son of God and instead sought to release him under the Criminal in the Community programme, I am told that the crowd compelled him to release convicted murderer Barabbas instead. I was unable to secure an interview with the governor, but a statement released by his department states that he is merely unwilling to comment at this time. Other sources at the palace, however, reveal that he has been persistently washing his hands since Mr. Christ was condemned to death. A symbolic gesture, we ask, or the onset of OCD, obsessive-compulsive disorder? Nobody seems to be sure what is happening here. Confusion reigns. But what is perfectly clear is that had Jesus Christ simply denied that he was the Messiah, then every single charge against him would have been dropped. And this begs the question, why any man would not simply deny this if it was to save his life? We've managed to track down one of the apostles to get an inside view on what has happened. Excuse me?
Yes?
Peter?
No.
Yes, Peter, you were one of the apostles with the Lord. You were close to him.
I've never heard of this Jesus.
Yes, you have, Peter. We saw you with him.
No, don't know what you're on about.
Well, I'm sure you do. I'm sure we've actually got a photograph of you with the Lord.
Oh, Jesus! The King of the Jews, Prince of Peace, the Messiah, Saviour of all the world. Never heard of him.
Peter?
When I saw thee, the wondrous cross.
It is with great sadness that I end this report. I am lost for words. Who could have predicted that it would have all ended like this? Who would have thought that Jesus Christ, after everything he had achieved, would be brought to such a conclusion? It is with a very heavy heart that I end this report. Jesus is defeated.
My soul, my life, my